So with that, let's jump right into it. What's the first one?
Yeah, absolutely. So as of 2024, there's a lot of changes happening with the way match types work. So what we understand of exact match, phrase match, and broad match is actually undergoing a big change. And Amazon has actually updated their help files to reflect that change because what we would, research with keyword tools, etc., and come up with long tail keywords to place as exact match is no longer working in that fashion. It is actually becoming more semantically related to the original keyword than to the exact composition of that keyword. So, for example, if I have a keyword like Nike running shoes and I put it in an exact match, there is no guarantee that the word running will not be replaced by something else that Amazon thinks is a very, very close substitute of that word. So semantically related words are making their way in. And so our exact match strategy that used to be probably the best strategy for ranking keywords and for picking up long tail intent that others weren't focusing on is no longer as valid anymore because of the changes that Amazon is undergoing. So what is the alternative? Like, how do we make our keyword research matter? Like, where is the opportunity if everything is going to be changed by Amazon? So we have actually found an alternative, which might be a little surprising to a lot of people, but for us at PPC Ninja, we have been future-proofing ourselves for the past 2 years. And let me tell you what that match type is. It's actually a variant of the broad match, and it's called the broad match modifier, right? So for those of you who've never heard this term before, I'll explain it simply. Broad match modifiers are a type of broad match, except that each word in the sequence of words in that keyword needs to have a plus sign in front of it, right? So for example, in my previous example of Nike running shoes, I would transform that keyword into plus Nike, no space between, then a space, and then plus running, and then another space plus shoes. So what that does is that it gives Amazon the signal that, hey, only when a search term contains these three words, Nike and running and shoes in any order, in any combination with other words, as long as those three words are left intact, then it's a match, right? So what this does is that it makes sure that the quality of your keyword doesn't deteriorate because of their semantic synonyms and so on. So you're making sure that the words that matter to you for matches are present. So I would recommend really looking at future-proofing yourself and making broad match modifier one of the important match types for anything. Like even for ranking, you can actually use a long tail match type, which is a broad match modifier, to generate sales for a word that is powerful in terms of search volume, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the first hack. Nick, did you have any comments on that?
Yeah, so for our listeners, I just want to make sure we nail this down because, Amazon is always precision. So plus first keyword, and then no space, plus, and then space the next keyword, or no space.
Okay, so I'll say it again. So it's between the plus sign and the word, there is no space. But between the word, there is space. So plus Nike is like 1 unit. Then you have a
Yeah,
space. Then
I see.
plus running is 1 unit. Then you have a space. And then plus
Okay.
shoes is 1 unit. Yeah.
Okay, the other question is if you go to the reports and you pull the targeting report, sponsored product or whatever, and in that targeting report, it shows you exact match, broad match. Uh, does this show up as an option, broad match variant, or is this like a conceptual name uh, or not? Which one?
Yeah. So it shows up as broad match. So in the targeting match type, it'll say broad, but the actual keyword will have pluses in them.
Okay. because the other question I was going to ask, if you do this, but do you track ACoS per campaign, per match type and things like that?
Yeah, there's many different ways to slice and dice your data, and definitely slicing it by match type is one way, because then it'll tell you where you have the best opportunity. You can also slice it based on conversion rate, not ACoS. You can say, what's the conversion rate of my broad match modifiers versus exact match, right? And so there's many different ways to to analyze this.
Great. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, okay, great.